Okay, we've got another beer from White Hag Brewing Company. I'm pretty biased about their beers because I love them as a brewery and everything they seem to do just works out. So White Hag Brewery and one of their pastry stouts up next. Hey, welcome back to Views on Brews. I am Brendan and this is another dinky little can from the mix and match range that I'm really enjoying from White Hag Brewing Company in Sligo, County Sligo, Ballymote. So this is a 5.5% pastry stout. Have a look at the can there. It's salted caramel. I've just had a bit of lunch, a nice bit of turkey broth with vegetables in it because I've been lacking in all good foods recently, eating loads of chocolate and crisps and too much turkey. Yeah, felt like a bit of a dessert, and a cheeky beer pastry stout is just the ticket for me. The Dark Druid, it's a part of their range, Dark Druid range. I'm going to crack this beer open and then we're going to see what we get from it. So pastry stout, it doesn't really have to be along the lines of an imperial stout in terms of ABV, but you do need kind of a bit of body to it to get to let it come across as a bit of a dessert beer. I can smell the beer. I can smell the caramel from here, and this can of beer is quite cold, so that's cool. Let me just see on the winter solstice. Oh geez, there's such small right. The shortest day of the year, the Dark Druid will come out and cut the mistletoe that grows on the oak tree and give it a blessing. Oaks were seen as sacred, and the winter fruit of the mistletoe was a symbol of the dark winter months. We present to you our handcrafted winter lifeline, where sweet, decadent, and luscious meets Atlantic sea salt infused with caramel, also known as dessert in a can. Wow, that was so hard for me to read because the writing on this is just so small. But interestingly, the ingredients writing on the can is a lot easier to read. But the small writing is just like burning my eyes trying to read that. But anyway, what is in the beer? Barley, wheat, hops, lactose, sugar, vanilla essence, sea salt, and yeast. So, just before I take a taste of this beer, so if I put vanilla essence in a beer as opposed to vanilla pods, I'm going to get more of an artificial taste because vanilla essence contains vanillin, which is a byproduct. I don't know if this particular one, but I know you can get vanillin from a byproduct of oil, and you can get it as a byproduct of the tannins in oak, and you can get similar flavor characteristics of vanilla from a whole bunch of other things that have nothing to do with vanilla. So yeah, that's what I got when I poured the beer and I just put it down. I could actually smell the vanilla from all the way over here. Pastry stout's supposed to taste like all things pastry. Vanilla is used in a lot of pastries. Vanilla essence in particular is used in icings and buttercreams and all that kind of stuff. So it's a very familiar smell to me. But there's a salted caramel element to this beer, and I will probably more likely taste that and just get the vanilla on the nose because one is a sensation salt and caramel sweet. So I'm going to taste those and they'll come across as different flavors. Okay, cheers, Slancha. Oh, there is a lot of vanilla in this beer. Comes across, how do I say that? I've had vanilla fudge that's had vanilla essence in it, and it can be like strong of vanilla, and this kind of reminds me a little bit like that. Like I think if they were to make this again, I think it might be an idea just to pull back a little bit on the vanilla, but not forgetting this is a fun beer. So, you know, in a kind of a fun beer kind of way, you know, it's a perfect beer can size, 330 ml. I'll probably just take that a little bit with a pinch of salt, but there's a lot of vanilla in here, and it does taste like it's a flavoring rather than vanilla from a pod. Along with that is this this sensation of it being like a real malty creaminess to it, and that is the lactose. That's what lactose does for a beer. So in a milk stout, that comes across as just a bit creamy, a bit milky, sort of fills the mouth with like a very gentle milky flavor to it. In here, it's kind of like like ice cream. It's vanilla. It's creamy. Let's say it's creamy is the way I would go about that. You can taste that it's not like an 8-9% ABV. It's definitely lower. It's 5.5, isn't it? I think I said that already. I just can't remember. 5.5. So there's a bit of bite from the malt in the background, but it's all about the lactose and it's all about the vanilla. It's quite strong, I will say that. I think if this beer warms up a good bit more, I think what I get is a little bit more of the roasty malt character, maybe a bit of chocolate going on in there. Sweetness from caramel, yes. Salty? I don't get much salt out of that, if I'm honest with you. It's sometimes when you have a beer that has salt in it, unless it's a very thin beer, you might be having a Goza, or you might be having something that stylistically should have salt in it. It can come across as more like something that happens to your mouth, your palate. Like you get a finish to the beer. The salt does that to you. It brings out flavors, and it sort of dries it out completely on the end of your tongue, just a little bit. But this beer doesn't really have much of that. It doesn't have, I can't, if I'm honest, I really can't taste any salt in this beer at all. And maybe that's just because it's a couple of degrees cool. There's a caramel sensation, but again, it's all about the vanilla and the lactose. The balance of this beer is heavily in the flavor of the flavorings. So the milk powder and the vanilla have just like consumed all of the flavor elements to this beer. If that's your thing, you're gonna love it. For me, I would say I just kind of I'm on the fence a little bit. Like one of these will certainly be enough for me. But again, this is €2.50 a can, part of the four for 10 euros in their range, where you can just pick and mix whatever you like, and there's about 12 different ones. There's four or six different ones in the Dark Druid range. They're all dark beers. That have some kind of interesting additional element to them. Well worth picking up and having a try. That's my view on this brew. I'm a bit on the fence about it. I think there's a bit too much flavour going on. Flavour that I don't believe in enough. But other than that, I'm actually going to enjoy the beer. Absolutely. So I'm going to bring this one inside. I'm going to sit and let it warm up a little bit. I have a feeling some of the flavours are hidden because the beer is a bit cold. Anyway, cheers, Slancher, and it's on to the next one. Goodbye.